Hello, welcome. I hope you're doing really well. So today we're going to give awards for the best fantasy and romance books I have read in 2024. As you can see, I have already made a spread in my A6 sized reading journal. I use a Leuchtturm1917 dotted notebook, and we have 8 categories total. One of them is in different color because that is like the main prize, the book of the year. And I must say that this year's winner of the main prize would probably win the majority of these categories. So I made a rule that each book can only be nominated and therefore win only once. I thought this way it will be a bit more interesting. It will give us a bit more of a variety, because otherwise we would just stare at the same 3 books all video, and that would not be too exciting. And this way I really had to think in which categories to put my books, because I had to evaluate what's their strongest point so that they would have the best chance of winning. And we will start with my favorite characters. In this category we have Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, and Happiness for Beginners by Catherine Center. And my pick for this category is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, with Emily and Wendell as main characters. The story follows socially awkward Cambridge professor Emily Wilde as she journeys to a small town in the far north to study fairy folklore, where she has to navigate an unexpected partnership with her insufferably handsome academic rival Wendell to uncover dark fae secrets. Next we have the award for my favorite world, and the contestants in this category are The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, and Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. And the prize goes to The Tainted Cup. In the Ratana's greatest mansion, a high officer is found dead, a tree erupting from his body. Called to investigate this mystery is Arnold de Labra, an investigator whose reputation for brilliance is matched only by her eccentricities, and her new assistant, Dinias Cole, an engraver magically altered to possess a perfect memory. I feel like The Tainted Cup could also compete for the prize of the prettiest cover, because look at that, how pretty is this cover? Yeah, maybe I will include this category for the next year's awards, because I have some really pretty books. Also, like the Emily Wilde Encyclopedia is also really pretty with the foiled mushrooms. The third category is the best sequel, and I included this category because I noticed that I start a lot of new series and I really like the first book, but then the sequels are not that good. So I think if the sequel is really good also, that should definitely deserve the prize. And the contestants in this category are Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands by Heather Fawcett, and Heartless by Elsie Silver. And my winner in this category is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Justin has a curse, and thanks to a Reddit thread, it's now all over the internet. Every woman he dates goes on to find their soulmate the second they break up. So when the woman slides into his DMs with the same problem, they come up with a plan. They will date each other and break up. Their curses will cancel each other's out, and they will both go on to find the love of their lives. Next category is my favorite new series that I started in 2024, and the contestants for this prize are Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco, Blood and Steel by Helen Scheurer, and The Crimson Moth by Kristen Ciccarelli. And my favorite new series that I started this year is The Crimson Moth. In a world where witches are hunted, Rune hides her identity as a witch by pretending to be nothing more than a vain young socialite. However, she spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When she begins courting witch hunter Gideon Sharpie to gather intel, their mutual deception gives way to dangerous romance that could unravel both their secrets. Next we have the award of my favorite seasonal read, because this year I tried reading more seasonal reads like autumn-themed books and also Christmas novels. So the books in this category are The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling, which is Halloween-themed novel, then Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh, which is a Christmas novel, and The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore, which has the perfect cozy autumn vibes. And the winner for my favorite seasonal read award is Holiday Romance. For the past 10 years, Molly and Andrew have been catching the same last flight to Ireland before Christmas, sharing drinks and catching up on each other's lives. But this year, their flight is cancelled because of a storm. While Molly isn't too fussed about Christmas, she knows how much it means to Andrew to spend the holidays with his family, so they set off on this crazy journey to come back home in time for Christmas. Next category is the best slow burn, and I think it will be really interesting for romance lovers because good slow burn is quite hard to find. These books might not be perfect in other aspects, like, characters might be a bit lacking, or the plot or the world building, but they all have really good slow burn. So these are Bride by Ali Hazelwood, A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen, and Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. And the winner in this intriguing category is Spark of the Everflame. And this story follows Diem, a mortal healer living in a world ruled by the cruel offspring of gods called Descended. After her mother's mysterious disappearance, Diem gets an opportunity to enter the dark world of Descended royalty and unlock the web of mysteries her mother left behind. And the final category before our big reveal is the tearjerker of the year. In this category, we actually have only one contestant and therefore winner. I consider myself quite a softie, and I tend to avoid books with very heavy topics and just very emotionally charged ones, especially if they make me feel very sad or angry or just depressed. So yeah, a lot of my books, as you can see, are pretty lighthearted, but this year I accidentally read one book which really made me cry. And that book is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. This story follows city girl Kala Fletcher, who travels to Alaska to reconnect with her estranged father. However, she finds herself torn between her desire to return to the bustle of Toronto and a budding relationship with a rugged Alaskan pilot. Now, before I show you my book of 2024, let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books or if perhaps you have heard of them and have them on your TBR list. I'm really curious to hear how you like them or if you're going to read any of them. Now, when it comes to book of 2024, we need to go back to another spread which I made a year ago when I was first setting up this journal. And that is my book of the year spread. So here we have all 12 of my monthly favorites. So each month I have picked my favorite read, and then they competed amongst each other until we have two contestants, which are Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which comes from the first half of the year, and Rain and Ruin from the second half of the year. And as you can see, it was by far the strongest competitor in this half, even though I've read some really cool books. And the book of 2024 is Rain and Ruin by J.D. Evans. I feel like I should show you the spread I made this book. She is heir to a sultanate that once ruled the world. He is an unwanted prince with the power to destroy. War is coming, signs and machines to replace magic and old religion. They must find a way to save their people from annihilation and balance the sacred wheel. But first, they will have to balance their own forbidden passion. And yeah, I absolutely love this book. I feel like it's so well rounded. It has great characters, it has the world, the plot, the romance line is great, like the chemistry between the characters is impeccable. And yeah, even though it's quite a thick book, I have read it in just a few days because I was just so invested in the whole story. Yeah, I obviously had to get a physical copy of this one, and just how pretty is this? Like, each page has this beautiful frame. And yeah, let's stick in the cover so that my spread would be complete. And yeah, 2024 was a great reading year, I would say. I've read a lot of amazing books, and I'm really excited to see what the next year will bring, what new genres I will explore, and what new gems I will have to share with you in my next year's book awards video if I make one. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, definitely give this video a big thumbs up. That would be amazing. Happy New Year, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!